Good afternoon, everyone. In tonight's video, I'd like to share a list of stocks that I think are likely to trend for tomorrow, January 13th, 2021. Now, this list of stocks is called our nightly trending list, which usually contains anywhere between 3 to 6 stocks, which we've manually curated based off of looking at the day's volatility, either the buying or selling pressure. How does the stock look like in terms of a technical setup off of daily and weekly time frame charts? So we're taking a look at longer term analysis as well, and we combine all of that to then come down to this very narrow list of stocks that are likely to trend for the next day. This list is then sent out to all Stock Volatility Box members in the evening, Monday through Thursday, every single week with the list of stocks for the next day that you can take a look at. So in today's video, let's take a look at the list for tomorrow, which will be sent out to all Stock Volatility Box members tonight. So first off, on the bullish side, we have gold, which is one that we've been talking about for quite some time as an inflation hedge. We have Pinterest, we have HFC, and we have APPS apps. Then on the bearish side, we have Kroger. So now let's take this list of 5 stocks. Let's move on to our Stock Volatility Box platform to get an idea of the exact price that needs to be triggered by tomorrow at 6:45 a.m. Pacific, so 15 minutes after the market opens, in order for this setup to be valid and triggered. I'll go through the exact levels, how to take a look at the setup, and what the charts look like in today's video. Starting off first, let's come into our Stock Volatility Box platform, and I've already typed out a list of all 5 of those stocks. So we have GLD, Pinterest, HFC, Apps, and Kroger, and I can very easily, with one click, add all of these to my dashboard. And just like that, we have not only the Volatility Box levels, which we'll see on our charts as well, but some concrete prices, which gives us a clue as to what we're looking for. Now, if you're new to the Volatility Box, you can also learn more about the setup on the Insights page, which also contains a video walkthrough of this setup. Now, starting off with APPS, we'd like to see apps break above the SS level from today, so that's 55.13, and the stock price needs to beat 55.13 in the first 15 minutes to give us this clue, this notion that, hey, the buyers still have control in APPS, and we're going to continue to see a bullish move tomorrow. So that's what we're looking for in apps. Now, if we come into gold, very similarly, we'd like to see gold break above 174.23 within the first 15 minutes after the market opens, after 6:30 a.m. Pacific. Then for HFC, very similarly, the level is 27.72. Then for Kroger, we have bearish setup. So for Kroger, we're looking for the stock price to be below 31.29 in the first 15 minutes to trigger us into a short. And then finally, we have Pinterest. In Pinterest, we're looking for 75.89 in terms of the stock price to break above to give us this clue that, hey, the buyers still have control. Now, the dashboard gives you these levels much quicker, but in case you wanted to see this on your chart as well, you can come into the indicator page right here. We can take that same list of stocks that we have. So we had apps, we had GLD, we had HFC, we had Pinterest, and we had Kroger, and we can click Generate Indicator, download the Aggressive Volatility Box indicator file, and this can be imported directly into Thinkorswim. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so now coming into Thinkorswim, I have our volatility box file loaded in. This is our aggressive volatility box with the symbols generated for all the symbols we're looking at. So now let's come back in to a 1 minute time frame chart here in APPS, and let me go through this setup in a bit more detail. Now we said in APPS, off of our dashboard right here, that the level that we were looking at for price action to get above for us to be interested in a potential long was 55.13. If we come into our charts right here, 55.13 is the exact outer edge of the volatility box cloud. So let me draw a line right there. So if we break above this level right here, 55.13, in the first 15 minutes, then that's our sign that, hey, we expect the buyers to continue to take the same level of control that they had today and keep moving price up in that same bullish direction tomorrow. So today, apps was up 8.31%. We're looking for that same move to continue tomorrow. Now, if I come to a daily time frame chart here, let me hide the volatility box so we can make this a little bit easier to see. We click OK. Then off of a daily time frame chart, what should stand out in apps is we have our swing high to swing low. We've currently hit the 1618 extension. We even went past to the 200 extension. And so with this trending move, the overall idea that you'd be looking to participate is we're going to start to make a move back towards that 200% extension. Now coming back into a 1 minute time frame chart, let me show the indicator one more time. Click apply and OK. Now in terms of the actual move for the day trade that we'd be looking at, the bare minimum first move is our distance between our entry and stop. So our entry is at 55.13. Stop in this case is outside of this natural pivot point right here. That gives us a risk of right around, to give you an idea, 1.62% that we're looking for in the opposite side as well as our first target. Now in terms of the second target, there's a few different ways that you can look at it. For those of you that are more bullish apps, I think a natural second target is 59.46. the 200% extension. Another way that you can take a look at it is tomorrow using the ST levels, which means short target or really the upper bound of the target lines. To give you an idea of what that looks like, that on a 1 minute time frame chart is this gray level. That's the ST level. That would be our second target, the stretch target for this trade. That usually gives you a really nice entry for a longer term trend trade in apps. Now let's keep coming down the list here. So next up we had GLD. Taking a look at GLD, for GLD to trigger us into our likely trending zone, we'd like to see it break above 174.23. Coming back in here, 174.23 is the exact outer edge of the clouds. If we see that break in the first 15 minutes, then we know that, hey, the buyers again have a good amount of control in gold, and we expect to see that same bullish move continue tomorrow. Now, gold today was up 0.65%. It's one we've talked about quite some time now. It's used as an inflation hedge. We had the market pulse also turn bullish on a daily time frame chart here very recently, right? We had the market pulse turn bullish. We also touched on this over the weekend where we had a pullback to the market pulse line, went a little bit further, and so far it looks like we're now continuing back in that bullish direction. In terms of a natural stretch target here, outside of looking at that ST level in gold, for me would be the market pulse line as a potential area to try and take off trades from this 174 area. Now let's come into Pinterest. Pinterest is the next one we'll take a look at. Pinterest, we're looking for price action to continue trending in the bullish direction. We want price action to get above in Pinterest 75.89. 75.89 takes us again to the outer edge of the volatility box clouds. If we see that break in the first 15 minutes, then we know that we expect, again, the buyers to continue taking control in Pinterest, which is up 4.70% today. Coming into the daily time frame chart here on Pinterest, you'll notice we also have a slingshot signal a couple days ago. Today we had a squeeze signal, all of which again suggests that we expect an overall bullish move. To give you an idea of a longer term stretch target that you might be looking at, using the trending list as your potential entry, we can use something like our fibs right here for the near term extension. And so coming into our Fibonacci retracement tool, swing high, let me get the right wick, swing high to swing low, takes us to a 1272 extension of 78.42, which should be that stretch target based off of this shorter term day trade. Now next, let's move on to HFC, and then we'll touch on Kroger. So now in HFC, again, this is our last bullish candidate. This should now start to become a little bit more repetitive to you. So HFC, we're looking at a break of 27.72. It's the same exact process. If we break above that in the first 15 minutes, we know we expect this move to continue to carry on in the bullish direction in Holly Frontier. Coming into the daily time frame chart right here, Holly Frontier looks a bit different from the other stocks we've seen, right? It doesn't look necessarily as strong, but we also have a squeeze signal that printed today, and we also have an overall bullish market pulse, which suggests that, hey, we're looking for not only price action to continue trending in that bullish direction, but you also would have the longer term extension here, which might be a potential target where that extension currently takes you in at right around 30.18 for a longer term stretch trade. Now, finally, let's switch gears with the last stock on our list, which is Kroger. Now, Kroger is the one that we're looking at on a bearish scenario. So let me turn back on the volatility box right here. Let's show study. Now in Kroger, if we break below 31.29, which if we come back in right here, Kroger, our long stop, is 31.29. If we break below that, then we're expecting Kroger to continue trending in the bearish direction. Today, Kroger was down 0.76%. We'd like to see more selling continue in Kroger if the sellers then indicate tomorrow that, hey, we've taken control of Kroger again, we plan on bringing the stock price back down, then that's our way of participating in it. Now, off of our daily time frame chart here on Kroger, if I hide the volatility box, what should stand out here is we have an overall bearish market pulse. You can see that with a stage of distribution right here, since we're currently seeing a bit of gray. Overall period of red right here off of the market pulse line, which is our overall directionality. We also see we've currently touched back into the market pulse line, and from this point, we'd be looking at a bearish continuation. So this is really a pullback in an overall bearish trend. And in Kroger, we're looking to participate in that if Kroger gives us a sign tomorrow that we expect price action to break bearishly. So hopefully this gives you an idea of not only how to use the trending list a bit more effectively, how we create the trending list in the first place, the things we're looking at, and how you can use longer term extensions for those stocks that hit the trending list, which you really like or would like to participate in a longer term trend. All right, take care everyone, good luck trading, and we'll see you in the next update.